It's Sherry from ALS Double Play, and today I'm joined with Dr. Janice Robertson from the ALS Research Lab at the University of Toronto.
Hi, good morning.
Janice, I know that we've talked a little bit about what's happening right now in research overall in the world and ALS research. Can you tell us a little bit about how COVID-19 has affected your lab?
Well, all non-COVID-19 related research has stopped. All non-COVID related clinical trials have stopped. Of course, COVID-19 is an immense crisis. Something has to be done about it, and it's right that there's a high priority on COVID-19. But that doesn't mean that other diseases shouldn't also be researched as well, because people are dying of ALS every single day. And there's been this, through the COVID-19 pandemic, all research funding is really being redirected to COVID-19, which means that there is little active research ongoing right now for ALS, which is a huge problem.
And when you talk about redirection of funds, we're talking specifically about government funding.
Yes, specifically about government funding. For example, a lot of research labs across the country are funded by the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, which they have 2 competitions a year, in the spring and in the fall. And hundreds of researchers applied for grant funding in the spring competition. And then in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, that research competition was cancelled, which means that many labs researching many diseases, including ALS, will not be able to receive funding in this competition, which is a huge setback because this funding is required for our daily experimentation, but also to provide the salaries for research staff. So if we don't have that money available, then we won't be able to fund our research, and we won't be able to fund our research staff. And for myself, for my research lab, our center is 100% or 99% funded by donor dollars. We require donor funding to keep our center open. And, the grant funding from the government certainly helps, but we are absolutely dependent on having the help from the community to keep our research programs going.
Right. So it's more important today than ever that we reach out to our donors, because one day we're going to get through this, right?
Well, we're definitely going to get through it, and we're really optimistic, and we will get through this. There's no doubt about it. But I think that many people don't realize the importance of research. That when you go to the pharmacy to pick up your medications, where did the information come from to provide those medications? It came essentially from research. If you don't refund the research, you're not going to get medications. And right now, I feel terribly for people who are living with ALS right now. The isolation that they must be feeling. They already had the short end of the stick with getting a disease like ALS. And then to have this pandemic happen at the same time, where they're a highly vulnerable population to COVID-19. They're very susceptible. If they get COVID-19, their life expectancy is probably going to be reduced. But at the same time, everyone recognizes the need to cure COVID-19, to find a vaccine. It's going to take a long time. But it's important to also realize that people with ALS are dying every single day, and that we need to keep going with our research efforts right now. And the only way that we're going to do that, we consider the fact that the Canadian Institutes of Research just cancelled their grant funding program. The only way that we're going to get the research done is through help from members of the community.
And so, Janice, then what can we do? What can we do to help you? What can ALS Double Play do to help the lab?
Well, we need to have funding so that we can pay the researchers to do the research. And so we're incredibly grateful to ALS Double Play for supporting researchers in the earlier stages of their career so that they will stay in the ALS field, continue to research, to gain the experiences necessary to run research programs so that we can accelerate the pace towards finding a cure. So right now, the problem is funding. It's a crucial problem. It's always been a problem. But right now, when research dollars are all being diverted towards COVID-19 government funding, then it's essential that donor funding kicks in now to help us continue our fight against ALS.
And we will do our very best to get your
Thank
message
you.
out there.
Yeah,
Because
thank you.
I mean, you know, we know that ALS is not an easy disease to
It's a
live with.
terrible disease. Yeah.
And we want to make sure that ALS is not forgotten throughout
No,
this.
that the people with ALS are not forgotten. And we will continue to fight to find a cure for ALS, but also at this time, particularly, you know, my heart goes out to people who have this disease, the struggles that they've already had to deal with. And now with this pandemic on top of it, is just seems cruel, really cruel. But we can still do something about it. And I know we will get through this COVID-19, but as you know, Cherie, how fast ALS can progress.
Yes.
That we need to keep the fight going. We need to keep on going.
Yes. So together we'll help you. We will get that message out. And
thank you. Thank you, Cherie, and thank everybody who's involved with the ALS Double Play and everyone who's supported us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for your time today.
Okay. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you.